everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in.
All right, and you all know whose voice that is. Helping us out on this episode is our old pal, Super Producer Madison. What's up, Maddie, besides coughing?
I know. Today we're talking about college.
Sounds good. Sounds like something you might have a little interest in, maybe?
Maybe just a little bit.
Are you, have you even started your personal statements yet?
Not my personal statement.
In your head, at least?
Yeah, a little bit in my head. The PIQs for UCs, yes. And my activities and filling out all the basic info. But my big essay is...
on the way.
Gotta work on that.
Coming soon. On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed out are you?
Honestly, I would say only maybe 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm chilling. I started researching and stuff during the summer, so I honestly feel like I had a head start.
Yeah, and it's end of September right now, not even October yet. So for UCs and whatnot, you've got at least another month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, and then for private schools, till January 1st.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're rooting for you. I hope you're putting this somewhere on your application that you are the producer on the Infatuasian podcast.
Don't worry. It's at the top of my activities, so.
Okay. All right. Hopefully we have a listener out there that works for one of these colleges that you're applying for, and they'll say, "Oh, are you really the producer on the Infatuasian podcast?" That'd be cool.
Yeah. I am. I'm real, guys. I do put in a lot of work when I can. Yeah. So
well, we're hoping we're going to get a little more work out of you.
I know. I haven't done audio editing in a while on this podcast, but
yeah, I'm getting some lined up. Are you down to do some editing?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Just let me know in advance.
Yeah.
Also, preferably not 2 hours long, because you know that I do really like to
get into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? People have been asking for just a 1 year, because it's been over a year now. People have been asking, saying, when are you going to do just an episode where you just talk about the podcast, where you've come from, things that you like. So maybe you and I should just sit down on a call and just talk about the podcast.
People want that?
A few.
That's enough.
I mean, they want to know, they kind of want to know what we've learned and, you know, what we think of how we're doing and stuff like that. So, yeah, maybe.
Well, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we should introduce our guest.
Okay.
And our special guest for today is Elton Lin. Elton started as an educational consultant about 12 years ago. And around that time, he and his wife Sarah also started a company called Ellie Fun Day, which produced textiles that were ethically produced in India, where they paid fair wages and they really cared for their workers. In fact, you would fly to India and hang out over there for a little while, right, Elton?
Yeah, we were doing at least annual trips once or twice a year for the last 10 years, up until maybe the pandemic.
Yeah. And so he took that entrepreneurial experience as well as his educational consulting days, and he combined them to start his own company called Ilumin Education. It's headquartered in Silicon Valley, right here in the Bay Area. Ilumin is ranked in the top 30 of educational consulting firms in the country. He's also a diehard Warriors fan, and not a bandwagon fan like from the last 5 or 6 years. No, Elton goes back to the Run TMC days, maybe a little Latrell Sprewell, maybe a little Andres Biedrins. So you know you're hardcore when you have a Montego Cummings jersey in your closet. So we may talk a little Warriors later and lose the entire audience. But he also happens to be a friend of mine that I've known for almost 30 years. But yeah, please welcome to the pod, Elton Lin. What's up, Eazy-E?
What's up, Curtis? Good to see you, man. And 30 years. Long time.
Yeah. We're wearing it a little bit.
We were babes.
Maddie, we used to have black hair.
That's so hard to believe.
It's so hard to believe. I know.
Shocking.
Yeah, we used to be young and cool. What do you think? I was just thinking of this on the way home. What do you think 20-year-old Elton would say if he saw you today?
I don't know if he would recognize me. I mean, it's like there's no way he would have foresaw what was coming.
Right.
And I mean, I still like the Warriors.
Yeah.
I still like watch tennis, but otherwise, I'm not sure if anything would have made sense. Not at all.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I think the younger self would say, you know, like, what have you been doing, or like, how did you get here? It's kind of hard to connect the dots sometimes.
No, for sure. No, yeah, I definitely, none of what we're doing now was in the plan.
Was in the plan, yeah. Absolutely.
I was gonna be a nice Asian engineer, but you know how that works.
Yeah. You're gonna be an engineer working, and you know, just taking a salary and sitting on your couch and watching TV at night.
Seriously, doesn't that sound great?
It's the dream. It's the Asian dream, man. What happened to us?
It's my parents' dream.
Yeah.
That dream disintegrated a while back.
About 2 years, yeah. Where are you calling from today? You're in San Jose?
I'm in my office in Santa Clara, but I live in San Jose, so I'm South Bay and right down the street, sort of, from you.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about the South Bay?
I don't know. I'm thinking about moving.
Yeah?
I'm kind of tired of the area.
Yeah.
What I don't like is I don't like paying double for every meal that I'm
right.
that I'm eating out right now.
Yeah. Did you get up to 110 degrees last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was. So it was like 100 something, like a week plus. And I was in Houston this last 5 days, and it was like 95 degrees and 90% humidity. So it was like, what am I? You know, what is going on?
Yeah, you're questioning all your life choices now.
I know. This is a therapy session, right, Curtis? I don't know what you had me on for.
This is it.
I need some advice.
We're working things through. Yeah.
Me too. So it's a mutual.
No, Maddie's like, what are these old guys talking about?
Seriously.
All right.
Let's talk about Andres Biedrins.
Yeah. Well, if we definitely want to get rid of the audience, that's the way we do it. We talk about Andres Biedrins. And then I have it on good authority that you went to the most prestigious school in America, University of California at Davis.
Oh, yeah. Indeed, the most prestigious school in America. No question.
I'm assuming that's where you guys became besties. Is that right?
A little bit. Yeah. We hung out more after college, actually. But we met.
I was just an admirer of Curtis in college.
My height and my stature were what impressed him most. Well, what brought you to Davis? Was it kind of, were you like me, where it's kind of like, well...
Yeah, I mean, I went to a summer program at UC Davis after 11th grade, and it was like I loved it. It was great. I was in the dorms in Tercero. I don't know why anybody would actually like it, but it was fantastic. I had a great experience and wanted to go to UC Davis. And when I applied in as an engineering major, and I got rejected. And so I sent in an appeal. And they sent me back another letter that said I was rejected. I got rejected twice to UC Davis. And then I was admitted to UC Irvine, submitted in my deposit to go to UC Irvine. And then like May 10th, I get this letter from UC Davis that says, if you still want to come, we got space. And I opted to go to UC Davis. So I have this, like, I've been rejected twice to the college that I ended up going to.
Yeah.
And,
all right, man. Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
So it sounds like you kind of knew what you were doing when you were applying to college. I was pretty clueless. I don't know. Were you more informed than I was when you were applying to school? Sounds like you were.
No, I definitely did not know what I was doing. I mean, I really was only doing whatever my friends were doing. And so they applied into the UC system, a few CSUs, and that's about it. And I just assumed that was all you needed. I didn't consider any kind of private schools. Right. Now that I'm like a college expert, whatever, I mean, there's so many schools that would have been super interesting that I would have loved to explore, but never got the opportunity, never thought about it, didn't know I had the option.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just did the UCs because that's what everyone did. And Maddie, you got to understand, there was no internet. There was no YouTube, there was no internet to do research, so it was all word of mouth.
Books?
It was like,
what about books?
Yeah, books and magazines.
Magazines.
But yeah, I mean,
we went to the library.
Yeah, they had, top 50 schools or top 100 schools, and you'd read about them. But yeah, it was a different world. So I just kind of went on word of mouth. What other people were doing is what I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was like the college you went to as big of a deal as it is now? Because I feel like it's at the start of freshman year, everyone is like preparing to go to college, worrying about grades and stuff. Was it like that before, or is there more pressure to go to a better college like now?
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I mean, because we work with a good number of students every year, and I'm very sort of in tune with what's happening on campus and the culture. It's definitely more pressure now than it was when we were applying. There's no question. I think we were aware of getting good grades and joining clubs just to build your resume, a little bit of that. But no, students are stressed now. It really feels like it's the pinnacle of your identity, which
exactly.
Shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Like, that's how it is.
Yeah, like I think most of us all felt like we were gonna get into a UC, like at least a UC or a handful at least. But now, I don't know. I think it's hard. I think it's hard even to get into some schools that, we would consider fallback schools back in the day. But now I think it's competitive up and down the state, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like people shape their whole high school experience on going to college and preparing for it, which is crazy. Like, signing up for clubs, sports is only because it looks good on college.
Yeah.
It is a different world, that's for sure. No question.
Yeah. So let's talk a little Ilumin Education. That's spelled ILUMIN Education. Can you give me the 30-second elevator pitch for what Ilumin can offer students like Maddie?
Absolutely. I mean, what we do is that we provide college admissions counseling to students who are preparing to apply into top universities in the United States, and helping students find more confidence and clarity in the process and help them reach their college goals. And in the end, it's about helping students find the right fit school and helping them be the best that they can be.
So Maddie is a senior now, so it's a little, I don't want to say late, but what age typically do people come to you for help?
Yeah, I would say like 40%. So let me give you maybe some context. We work with about 300 students a year. I would say 40% of our students come in as seniors.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the other 60% come in at any point in the 9th through 11th grade journey. So I would say the majority of the remaining 60% come in like maybe middle of 10th grade. And so it's like, when you have enough time to, work on building something in preparation for that senior year.
So if Maddie walked in today on, September 27th, 2022, would you say, or would you say, come in, young lady, we'll help you out?
Yeah, no way. I would love to work with Maddie. No question. So come on in. Let's see what we can do. So.
All right.
Perfect.
So are you 100% in person now? Or are you still doing Zoom?
Yeah, so when before the pandemic, we were like 90% in person. Our staff was primarily here in the Bay Area. And then since the pandemic, we've been hiring people from all over the United States and the world.
Oh, wow.
We even have a counselor who's based in Mexico, somebody who's based in Amsterdam. So we have like 14 counselors, maybe around 20 to 25 essay support people who work with our seniors on their essays throughout the season. And so we have a good sized team, but we've remained primarily remote.
Okay. So. And you're doing like weekly check-ins, or how often would a client meet with you? Like, let's say they're a junior in high school. How often would you meet with a counselor?
Yeah, if you're in 9th through 11th grade, everything revolves around a once-a-month coaching meeting. So if Maddie were in 9th grade, we'd come in and we'd do a once-a-month session, and we just check in on how she's doing. Maybe at this stage in 9th grade, we're saying, hey, Maddie, maybe there's going to be a club fair coming. Perhaps you can get involved in 4 or 5 clubs, see what's a good fit, and let's talk about it at the next meeting. So there's this sort of ongoing academic/life coaching experience that she's going through. And it revolves around a once-a-month coaching meeting all the way until we get to the senior year. And once you get to the senior year, then we meet as often as is necessary.
Oh, wow.
So if Maddie needs like every week to check in on that personal statement that she hasn't started, then that might be what's most helpful for her. And we get writing and we get going. Yeah.
Is there a 24-hour hotline so that you can talk kids, off of the ledge a little bit, or what sorts of emergency services do you guys provide?
Here's the thing. Just maybe a way to analogize the service is that, like, imagine if your high school counselor was like just for you. Like, you probably see your high school counselor. Like, on average in the United States, students spend no more than 1 hour with their high school counselor and then no more than 20 minutes talking about college. So if you can imagine like a high school counselor that's spending like 50 hours a year talking about just your college preparation, that's the experience.
Yeah. So definitely worth it.
Is it like anyone can do it anywhere, or it's just kids in San Jose or wherever you're based?
Yeah, no, we have students from all over the world. And so I would say still 80% is Bay Area. And most of that is South Bay, which is, I would say, San Mateo down to San Jose to Fremont, Pleasanton, up through the East Bay. But I worked with a student who was applying in from the UK. We have students from China and India. We get students from all over. We're currently working on a software platform called Comet that guides students through the college app process. And we're getting students from all over the world, Pakistan, Congo, Nigeria, all throughout India, and from all over. So it's it's been we get students from everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty. In a way, the pandemic maybe opened people's eyes a little bit to the power of virtual communication and meeting. For sure. Yeah, let's talk. Can I toot a little of your stats here a little bit? According to your website, you have 3 times the national admit rate for Ivy League and other top 15 universities. Over 90% of your clients are admitted to top 25 universities for those who applied. And 99% of your clients are admitted to top 100 universities. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'll readily admit that 99% of top 100 is not that difficult. So I'll be 1,000% honest with that. But I am proud of the 3x. Yeah, I'm like if Stanford is a 4.2 or around a 4.2 national admit rate, our internal admit rate is around 15%.
Wow.
And so we're seeing at least on average 3 times. Our internal admit rate is at least 3 times the national admit rate for top 15 schools.
Nice. So you've been doing this for how many years have you been doing this? You've been doing this?
Yeah, almost 12 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. Yeah.
Have you seen things change a whole lot in the last 12 years?
Generally speaking, I don't think that much has changed in the sense of like the process and even how students are reviewed or assessed. But I think there are different things that are changing as it relates to like how schools are admitting students. Like I think more and more schools are admitting a higher percentage of their freshman class on early decision or early rounds in general. And so it changes the strategy of how students should look at which deadlines they should be applying to. There's no SAT, ACT right now. So there's some of those things that are adjusting the strategy, but colleges are still looking for the same things in students, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've talked about your services, but now we're going to ask you to give away the farm for free. Is it okay if we talk a little college admission for the next 20 minutes or so?
Man, bring it. Whatever you got, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So
whatever Maddie wants.
Yeah. So listeners out there, you're getting a little taste of what you might get from Ilumin Education. We're going to give you the free 99 version of it on the Infatuasian podcast. So let's talk a little pregame for college. What age do you think the average kid should start prepping for college admission? Preschool? Kindergarten?
You'd be surprised how many like parents of 6th and 7th graders we get requesting information about our services. I think everyone needs to, chill out a little bit and relax. Enjoy your sixth grade. Let's put it that way. I don't think ninth graders should be obsessive about college admissions. I do think it's, to have, some thought about what classes you take, and what you get involved in. I think it's still good. So I think even when we're working with ninth graders, we're not over obsessive with what type of activities or anything that they're getting involved in, but try to just stimulate students' curiosity and just have them explore things and really help them understand themselves better. And I think that's really the most important thing. And so, starting to think about it in ninth grade is not a bad thing.
Are there certain things that a kid could do that colleges might notice a little bit more?
The first thing is always grades and classes. So no matter what it is, taking a challenging course load, which might translate to taking AP and honors classes, is a good thing. And so you don't want to, here's the thing, you always try to balance it off with, you want to take the hardest load you can while maintaining as close to straight A's as you can. So you don't want to take 6 APs and get B's and C's. You don't want to take no APs and get all A's and and only do 30 minutes of homework per night. So you want to find that in between and just demonstrate to colleges that you can handle a college level workload and be ready to go once you arrive.
Yeah, sounds good. You did that, Maddie, right? You didn't take too many last year.
I think so. I'm taking more this year though. So, but it hasn't been too bad. I'm fine, and I actually enjoy it. So, yeah.
What time do you normally go to sleep, Maddie?
Actually, not late at all. Probably 11. Isn't that pretty good?
Pretty reasonable?
Yeah.
Were you starting to think about college early? Now, you want to go to a specialized school, though. We should say, Elton, Madison is a musician and a songwriter and is an audiophile geek, and she likes audio things and producing, and so she's looking to do a program where she can kind of get into sound production and
music technology.
NYU.
Yeah, Tish, yep.
Clive Davis program, is that correct?
Yes,
yeah, I know.
I have my certificate on the floor from the online program I did. But anyways, yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, you were asking me if I thought about college when I was young, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. So when did you start thinking about college?
Oh, one of my biggest regrets as a kid is thinking about college too early. Obviously, I haven't been admitted to college yet, but starting from 6th grade, I thought that my grades would matter. I thought everything I did would matter, including extracurriculars and whatever. So, I don't know. I just wish I let myself be a kid more instead of focusing on school, because it really didn't matter in the end. Definitely good, trying things out and exploring, you know what I mean? But crying over not getting straight A's in 6th grade, that's too much. I wish I just hung out with my friends after school and did what I liked.
Yeah.
So you were thinking about college in 6th grade?
Oh, yeah. I feel honestly, that felt like the norm.
Wow. What prompted you to do so?
Probably my parents and just people around me. It's always college. What can you do to stand out and make college affordable? Things like that. That's why I asked you. I was interested to know how our view of college has changed, because growing up, it still seems like such a big deal. So yeah, definitely adults around me. And also my peers. Everyone, I don't know, just the competitive nature of school puts more pressure on me to be oh, I need to work hard and stand out and do things like them,
Yeah. You hear it in the hallways, you'll hear kids buzzing about it.
Exactly.
Pretty early on.
Crying over getting a B in AP Bio because they're not going to get into a good college. You see it all the time.
Yeah. Social media doesn't help it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what I say all the time in class is that, honestly, at the undergrad level, a school like Stanford is pretty special, and Harvard, there's networking things that happen in certain schools more than others. But overall, calculus and biology and English 101 will be pretty much the same almost anywhere you take it. And of course, reputation matters to a certain extent, but employers really just want to know, what can you do, not where did you go to school. And so we put such a weight on colleges, and I think sometimes, like Elton said, people need to chill out a little bit. You're going to be, if you're hardworking and you can learn things and you're a problem solver, someone will hire you, almost anywhere.
No, that's so true. I mean, I feel like I can't really speak because I'm only 17, but I just feel like people should just trust their paths. Like, you don't have to go to an Ivy League to have a successful life. Community college is fine. Like, if that's where you end up, then that's where you end up. If you don't want to end up going there, you can always transfer. So people do need to chill out. It's fine.
I love the community college path, actually.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I actually have a student, and a bit of a story, but I had a student who barely graduated from high school. I remember working with him. He came in as a senior and had a hard time focusing, and barely got a 2.1 to graduate from high school. Ended up going to De Anza, and just blossomed at De Anza. Just in a few months, grew up really quickly, got straight A's, participated in the political science club, international relations, and then ended up applying to Berkeley and LA and was admitted to both. And then ended up going to UCLA, but he found his way through community college. Yeah. And so I think it's a super great path right now.
No, yeah, for sure. That's amazing. See, it's never too late to start or try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's basically college half price. You only pay for 2 years, basically. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually give you this is the free 99 tip for families out there on community college. Right now, from the pandemic, there's a huge a huge dip in community college attendance, which also means that there's going to be a huge dip in transfer applicants going into the UC system, which also means that the admit rate for transfer applicants is going to go sky high. Yeah. So if you're in community college and applying to transfer over the next couple of years, you're going to be in good shape.
Why did junior college's admissions go down?
It's because I think a lot of the students who were aiming towards community college in the pandemic, they got lost in the shuffle. I think they got lost in shutdowns and everything, and just did not have sort of perhaps the motivation or the guidance on kind of getting back into the swing of things with college. I think those people who were going to Harvard, hey, I'm going to Harvard, I'm still going to go, and we're going to make it happen. That's with most students who are going to 4 years. But for students who are going into 2 years, they kind of got lost in the chaos of the pandemic. And so some community college went down by 50%. So.
Oh man, that's interesting. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about grades. We all know what grades are, right? You got to get good grades. Test scores, are they a little bit of a relic? Are they a little obsolete?
Not really. And this is where schools have gone test optional for most of the pandemic. But MIT recently went test required for next year's class. Oh. And so there is a trend to where colleges are opting to reinsert back testing into the admissions process in order to help them sort of vet the pool more effectively. Yeah. And so no, unfortunately.
Why did they remove the testing requirement anyways? Was it because people missed out on it because of the pandemic, or were just shifting towards, I guess, being more, focused more on personal statement and extracurriculars? I guess my question is it going to come back, or is it a permanent thing?
Yeah, so the answer to your question is yes and yes, which is there's already a movement towards using other assessments to understand a student's background. So they're trying to veering away towards testing for some schools. So the UC was already veering away towards testing. And in large part, they went test optional because the SAT was getting canceled because of the pandemic, and students didn't have access to the SAT, so they couldn't submit the score anyways. But I think there is a good group of people in college admissions who still believe that some kind of standard assessment is still helpful. And until they come up with one, we'll still consider the SAT or the ACT. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little personal statements. You can help my friend Maddie out here. What advice do you have on personal statement writing?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'll be, if you want to get really honest, it depends on where you're applying to, right? So if you're applying to a large public school like the UC system, where I was at like a national college counseling conference this last 4 or 5 days, and I overheard admissions director in the UC system say that it's people are spending 5 to 7 minutes reviewing your application. But we also have former UC admissions people in our team, and in most cases they're spending maybe 2 or 3 minutes on your application. So think about your essays sped read in 2 or 3 minutes. And this is not just your essays, this is the entire application. So you got to write in a certain way that lends itself to skimming, to speed reading. But if you're applying to private schools where you're going to get like a 7 to 8 minute read, then you can have some flowery narrative and really tell your story. And so, but before you even get into all that, just think about where you've grown the most, and begin with what are the stories that really like demonstrate your growth, demonstrate who you are as a person, demonstrate what you might be like, your personality, your character, your leadership, as it might live out on campus. Because colleges are always thinking about, like, when they read your story, like, how is this going to show up when you're on campus? Like, they're always thinking about like a little bit of gatekeeping the student community, and so they don't want they want to see somebody who's going to participate, who's going to get along with a lot of different people. And so think about the stories that exemplify your growth and how it might demonstrate the kind of person you might be on campus.
I guess, how do you stand out in your writing then, though? Because if the admissions counselors are speed reading, you have to be like succinct and concise, but
you have to say something too.
Exactly. There's a lot. I feel like there's less room to be creative, which is hard for me because that's my writing style. So how do you show individuality then?
So I would agree, like, if we're having this conversation about the UC essays, Maddie, I'm going to give you like a free coupon to like watch our UC essay bootcamp. And so we literally tell you like how you need to structure your UC essay so that it can be read quickly, and it really kind of demonstrates your personal traits and your leadership and your achievements and those kind of things. So the UCs need to be written a certain way, and any like kind of large public school system needs to be that way. But when it comes to the private schools where they're going to give you more time and more space, really focusing on stories. And I think this is where, like, try not to like tell the entire anthology of like one story over 10 years. Just try to focus in on perhaps the smallest moment and just expand on that moment, beyond there. Yeah. And try not to say everything, but if you can focus on a small thing, normally you can get out more details that are more interesting to the reader.
Got it.
So smaller moment, the better.
I did notice there are a few freebies on your website. You got some webinars and stuff. What kind of free stuff can people get just on your website?
Yeah, we've been interviewing since the pandemic. We've been interviewing admission officers from around the United States. We've had Emory, Northeastern, Pomona College, Boston University, a bunch of people. I just spoke with Johns Hopkins and Carnegie Mellon, and we're going to try to get them on our webinar as well. And then we're also doing webinars on like essay writing and like summer planning and all that kind of stuff. So you can go on to and just watch videos to your heart's content. So some of them I'm in, some of them I'm not, and just have a good time. We have a downloadable ebook where we interview 6 admission officers on what they're looking for in college essays. So Maddie, that's you should go to the website and download that and take a read.
Definitely.
And but I think that's about it. There might be some other stuff.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot though. So yeah, not too late, Maddie. Get on that website, ilumineducation.com. I'll put that in our show notes. Two last things actually. College major. How important is it to choose a major when you're 17 years old? You don't know what you're going to be or what you're going to do. Is it matter a lot what major you put down?
All right, I'm going to give you sort of both extremes on that question, okay. Right? So I feel like students, please just begin with your curiosity. Like maybe students are have like ultra clarity on what they want to do. That's probably like 10% of students. Like 90% of students have like zero clarity on what they want to do. So don't feel like you need to know. Everybody else feels like they know. Like you might think everybody else knows, but nobody knows. Nobody knows, right? So just begin with your curiosity, whether that be psychology or biology or history. I would begin there and then build on that and then integrate. I would say that my best advice for the next 10 years is that if you're going to be a humanities major, like a history major, then you should double major in computer science or statistics or data science. And if you're a computer science major, you should double major in English or some other kind of humanities. That's going to kind of prepare you for the job market in the future.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the other extreme. Right now, there is an over inundation of computer science applicants in every school in the United States.
Yeah.
And every applicant pool is ballooning by anywhere between 3 to 5x in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're computer science, your admit rate is automatically going to drop at most universities, at most top 50 universities. And so unless you really if going to a particular school is important to you, then I might think about other majors.
Okay. All right. And then last one on this topic is, how many colleges should Maddie be applying to?
It'd be awesome if you can just apply into Clive Davis and get admitted and just live your dream.
Can
I'm
I
rooting
guess?
for you.
Can I guess the number?
Sure.
Yeah. What do you think?
Is it supposed to be 9 to 12? Because that's what I learned today in the college presentation. But what do you think?
I think 9 to 12 makes sense. I think I have students who, like our students are probably applying anywhere between 10 and 15. Mm-hmm. And my other thing with applying to a few more schools is because I'm really big on students not graduating with debt. And so if you apply to more safety schools, more of the safety schools, especially more of the safety private schools, are going to try to use money to attract you to come. And so if you can apply to more safety schools and then compare financial packages, and then you can leave school without debt, I would opt to go to the school that will give you more money and leave with no debt, as opposed to going to the higher ranked school where you will come out with tons of debt. And so student loan debt is a crisis right now in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm already planting the seed in my daughters. We drive by Skyline College all the time, and I'm like, doesn't that look great? Don't you want to apply to Skyline or College of San Mateo?
Beautiful.
I'll buy you a car. You can drive yourself to San Mateo.
That would still be cheaper than going to USC.
Absolutely.
I did my classes online at San Mateo.
Yeah, CSM.
College of San. Yeah, CSM.
Yeah.
So see, works out.
Definitely works out. All right, just going on some side topics here. What do you think of alternatives to 4-year universities like boot camps or like 2-year programs?
Yeah, so I generally like them because I think you need other options. I definitely feel like students who are, I think there's definitely students who are better suited for trade school. And I don't know why that sounds like I think for a lot of families that sounds like it's not a great option, but it's a great option for a lot of students. And there's a shortage of electricians and other trades where students can come out and easily make maybe 70 to 80K a year, being like a licensed electrician.
Yeah. And,
you start your own business and you can be making way more than that.
Yeah.
So I think having all those options is better. But I also feel like the students who do well in boot camps are normally the students who can finish 4 years of college.
They would have, yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are boot camps?
Yeah, so boot camp is normally like anywhere between it could be like a 4-week to 9-month hyper intense. No, the most common thing is like computer programming. So you finish out 9 months and then you learn like 1 or 2 languages. And then those boot camps then pipeline out to like Google and other tech companies where they do quick hires. And then it allows students to kind of leave with little debt or no debt and be able to get into the job market very quickly.
Yeah.
Is that like sustainable though, or are you like susceptible to being like laid off?
I think once it fits really well for programming. It doesn't fit that well for like English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fits really well for programming because once you get that job at Google, it doesn't matter. Once you get a job there, then you're able to leverage that to get the next job, and it's totally fine. And there's not a huge liability for not having a 4-year degree. But yeah, it works best for computer science.
Yeah.
I see.
It's not what you know, it's what you can do.
Yeah.
For a lot of companies. All right. And do you have a thought on specialized schools like culinary school or art school? Loaded question.
I do. I have lots of opinions that might not be as popular, but I feel like culinary school is really expensive.
It really is.
Like really expensive. And I also have a sister-in-law who is one of the executive chefs at Stanford, who taught at culinary school in San Francisco.
So they're great.
She would also confess that it's super expensive. So I think sometimes it's necessary. I think it's not a bad idea to to get a 4-year degree and then go to culinary school.
Or start working in the kitchen, right? Get some experience first, see if you like it, and then because
agreed.
Because that's the thing is that it's really expensive, or like art school is really expensive, but they're not necessarily leading to high-paying jobs. It's not like medical school where you might have $200,000 in debt, but you're going to be a doctor. Versus if you go to art school and you have $200,000 in debt, and I don't know what you're going to do necessarily.
Oh, I'll say this about art school because this is the Infatuasian podcast.
Absolutely.
And Asian families are real excited about art school. But right now, one of the top 5 market industries, like hiring markets, is going to be UI UX designers.
Right.
So user interface, user experience. And right now, I'm looking for UI UX designers as well, and I can't find anybody. Mm-hmm. And so if you go to art school to do user interface design, you're going to get hired 6 months before you graduate. And so if you look at the applied arts, there could be lots of job opportunities for art school majors. And it just depends on what industry you're going into. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have a few friends who've left teaching to go into UI UX.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, there's several. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, I don't know. Do we want to talk about influencers and social media people? Is that a viable career for a 17-year-old to think about not going to college at all and just going straight into influencing?
Oh man, I will tell you one of my students. Is now a huge social media star, right? So her name Ashley Xu, XU, and you can search her online. But she does video editing, video effects, and she's basically making a full-time full-time career out of it, right? Yeah. So she's third year at Northwestern. Obviously, she's not she's a sharp cookie herself,
right?
But no, I mean, come on, go to school.
Yeah,
get.
You know where you can make a lot of money, Elton? Podcasting.
Podcasting.
Yeah. Every 17-year-old should start their own podcast. That is the road to a golden future. Man. Let me tell you,
Curtis, you've always been my role model.
I'm on the cutting edge.
Love it.
Someday. All right. Well, young man, you have survived the difficult questions. It is now time. Maddie, do you have the document open?
No.
Okay.
I can do it really quickly.
All right, I'm going to stall. You have survived the difficult questions. It is now time
for my lightning round. First question is, what would you tell a 17-year-old Elton about college?
I would tell my 17-year-old self to meet as many people as possible. I would tell my 17-year-old self to do study abroad.
Yeah.
I felt like I stuck around with too many of the same people that were like me, and I didn't hang out with enough people who were not like me. Mm-hmm. And so I would have, I think study abroad would have been awesome.
Yeah. I agree. Agreed.
Very cool. Okay. Next question. What's the best class you took at Davis? Or a class that you wish Davis offered, which can be a complete fantasy if you wish.
Actually, I do have some classes that I remember. I really liked this class, this environmental law class. And I don't know why, but it was I was so sick of engineering and doing math and trying to support the weight of a truck going over a bridge. And I just it was refreshing just to understand how the legal system worked as it relates to environmental conservation. And it sounds super lame, but I found it I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed a creative writing class. it's kind of basic stuff, but liked every class that wasn't engineering.
Yeah.
You know what? I wish I had taken one of the winemaking classes at Davis. They have a really good wine program. Enology, they call it. But that would have been fun.
That is cool.
My dad was a viticology master's student at Davis.
That's right. Anheuser-Busch, right?
That's the only reason they sent me like the third letter after I got rejected twice.
Okay. Last question is, what's the best non-academic thing you learned in college?
Yeah, I think the best non-academic thing I learned was not to stop looking at other people.
Mm-hmm.
I was goofing around too much my first year, and like I had a lot of FOMO and just wanted to do what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And then I ended up on academic probation after my second quarter. So I got 3 C's and a D in calculus. And they sent a letter home to my parents, and my mom cried
when
she got the letter. And I'm like, you need to like stop screwing around and looking at what everybody else is doing and do your own thing. I slowly figured that out over time.
I went the other way. I screwed around more in high school, and then when I got to college, I actually got serious. I was like ignoring the going out and stuff and actually studied. So I went the other way.
Good for you. Why didn't you take me under your wing?
I tried, but you were just too busy hanging out with the cool kids. So.
I was having a good time. And
that's hard to do at Davis. You had to try really hard at Davis to find the party crowd.
I worked hard. Yeah. I did. That's true. I agree.
Maddie said that was the last question, but that was not the last question. I have 2 secret questions. All right, you have to eat one of these. Are you going stinky tofu or are you going durian?
Oh, stinky tofu for sure. It's fried in most cases. And it doesn't taste exactly like it smells. Durian tastes exactly like it smells. I mean, if I wanted to insert a foot in my mouth, chew on it, that's what it is.
Oh, man. All right, last question. Can you make for me an all-time Warriors team, all 5 positions, based on any time period in history?
Andres Biedrins, center.
Yeah, right.
Chris Gatling.
That's obvious.
Power forward.
Oh, man.
Billy Owens at small forward. Jordan Poole at the 2 guard.
JP, okay.
And then Mookie Blaylock at the point guard.
Oh, little Mookie. Oh,
maybe as a backup, Eric Sleepy Floyd.
I like the way you didn't even have to think of it. You had those ready to go. You had those bullets in the chamber.
Hey, man. Maddie's as bored as
we've
can
lost.
be right
we've
now.
lost no, not just Maddie. We've lost the entire audience altogether.
Oh man!
All right. Well, the last question we do is a question where we ask our guests to choose someone from the Asian community by picking an infatuasian. An infatuasian is anyone in the Asian community that you admire or were inspired by. Could be past or present. So, Elton Lin, who is your infatuasian?
I mean, if I want to take infatuation as the term, I mean, my wife's not going to appreciate it. But come on, Gemma Chan, for crying out loud.
Gemma Chan. Yeah.
She's not listening.
Okay,
my wife's not listening.
Yeah, that was just a joke, Sarah. That was just a joke. All right, so what's on tap for you? You got senior season right now. You're kind of heavy into the applications right now.
Yeah, heavy into the applications right now. I don't have personally as many students as the rest of our team, but I definitely have some of my own students. I'm reading mostly good essays, mostly, and I'm also I'm also working on that software platform, applywithcomet.com, and Maddie, we are currently giving out a free essay read on the platform. So if you sign up. That's going to be there, but it's not going to be there forever.
Good to know.
So go ahead and sign up. And hopefully those might give you some good basic resources. But Maddie, I'll send you the UC online bootcamp video coupon.
I appreciate it.
And you can check it out.
Yeah. We could use all the help we can get, right, Maddie?
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone out there. So go check out illumineducation.com and see the freebies there, but also... They'll do a free consultation with you as well, so you can see kind of what they're about and what kind of services they offer. Thanks for coming along, Elton. It's been a fun chat.
Thanks, Curtis. Thanks, Maddie. Good to hang out with you guys today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Elton.
She calls me Mr. Chin, but you're Elton? Wow, first name basis.
I know.
I know.
Indeed.
What should I say, Mr.
We're
Lin?
buds.
Mr. Lin and Mr. Chin.
Nice.
All right, everyone. You can write to us 24 hours a day at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow us at The Infatuasian Podcast on Instagram or Facebook. We'll put all these details in the show notes. So I hope you're all enjoying the listen and you got a little information about applying to college. Maybe not for you, but maybe for a nephew, a niece, a son or daughter, or someone you know. You can get more college information from Elton's website. Until we speak to you again, on behalf of Elton, Super Producer Madison, and myself, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
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 But Maddie, is there anything I can help you with?
Well, what do you know about NYU? I know that it's ridiculously expensive. It is my dream school, though.
Are you going to do music production?
Music technology. So,
Okay.
I don't know. The reason why I like the Clive Davis Institute program is because it doesn't just set you up to be like a producer. It's like a more all-encompassing thing. So if you wanted to go into music business, that's also okay. Because I feel like what I want to go into is a very risky thing because it's not traditional, So I need as many options as I can get.
Yeah, I mean, can you ED to Clive Davis program?
Okay, well, I would absolutely love that, but the thing is, $90K a year is absolutely not feasible. So definitely a dream school, but on that note, early decisions, do they actually play a big role? Because I know some schools have early action and those are like non-committal, right? But there's like early action and early decision, right?
Yeah.
So if I did early action for like USC, would that help me?
Not much for USC. So USC, probably 80,000 applications, and they're just basically like using early action to funnel through the pool more quickly. And so, but for other schools, if you can apply early action, you should use it as a way to help you get through your workload more quickly. And then does early decision matter? It does, unfortunately. So. And because it locks you in, and the school can count your space. Yeah. So yeah.
If you can afford it, you're locked in. Lots of people can't. So, like, we're all at a disadvantage, like normal, common people.
Yeah.
Good old middle class. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's true. And so this is where it's like, use your, like, when I was talking about earlier about applying to more safeties. So like, I think for performing artists, which includes music and film, music production, I think you should actually, as cliche as it sounds, veer towards New York and LA. So you should be going towards New York and LA schools, and then the schools in between, Syracuse, Drexel. Strangely, you might want to take a look at University of Cincinnati. But there's a few of these schools in the middle that have like huge network, huge resources, that like end up getting pipelined into like let's just say you start doing music production for the opera. Like there's maybe that's not your dream, but that's a career, that's a job, right?
Yeah.
So, but you actually do want to go to New York and LA if you can. So Chapman, Loyola Marymount, they may not have the exact program, but you want to be in those areas. So Fordham. Other places where you could do that. So, anyways, that's we can start getting into it. This is how I've been doing this for like a dozen years because we can start getting into it. Yeah.
No, that's actually really, really helpful. I guess I don't know. Tuition is just so overwhelming to me. I feel like it deters me from applying to a lot of schools or feeling like I have a shot at all to pursue my dreams because it's just insane.
Yeah.
What's your GPA?
As of last year. Like the start of last year.
What's your unweighted? All right, good. So you're going to get money to, like, if you apply to Syracuse and Drexel, you're going to get money. You will for sure get money. You will get probably anywhere between like 10K, maybe 10K to 20K. And then what you do is that if you apply to like the Syracuse range schools, you get 5 or 6 financial merit packages back. You can start bargaining, using them to bargain with each other. So I have a student who's a fashion major at Syracuse, and we got Syracuse to up their merit aid from 15K to 27K per year because we compared it. We had Drexel and another school. Like, we sent them the merit aid offers and they matched it.
So how do you how do you do that? Who do you email?
No, you just because your grades are good, and like you're gonna be for Syracuse, you're probably in the top third of the applicant pool. So you are desirable for them. They need you to like balance out their stats, and so yeah.
I'll look into Syracuse because I actually DM'd somebody on TikTok who I know, like a female who does like audio work, and I was like, hey, where did you study? Because I need options. And she said Syracuse because there's lots of audio opportunities. So we'll definitely look into that.
Yeah. So if you apply to more of those, you'll get more merit aid offers, and then you can at least compare.
Well, thanks then.
But Maddie, reach out if I can help you with anything. So, okay. And keep it on.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll keep you updated and let you know if I get into any good colleges.
You will get into plenty of colleges. No,
you're gonna need Elton to help you decide on which school to go to. Yeah.
We'll see. You never know. I can look back at this in March, right?
Yeah. I'll say, I'll save this recording.
Okay.
All right, Elton. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.